Why the great men of God were talking about Lord increase our faith. You see, my mind went back to the Hall of Fame in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11. We saw credence given to Abraham, Joseph, Moses, Isaac, and both those that their names were not mentioned. The Bible gave credence, but there's something that caught my eye in verse 37. If I can please have Hebrews 11 verse 37 quickly, because I don't want to open up. Yeah, Hebrews 11 37. It said they were stoned. I know Abraham wasn't stoned. Joseph wasn't stoned. Moses wasn't stoned. But who are these people that were stoned? He said they were stoned. They were sawed asunder, were tempted, were slain with a sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goatskin, being destitute, afflicted, tormented. Give me the next verse. Of whom the world was not worthy. They wandered in desert and in mountains and in dens and caves of the earth. The next verse. And all these, somebody say all these, haven't obtained a good report through faith. Because the theme of the conference is increase my faith. They received and obtained a good report through faith, even though they have not received the promise. We know the promise is our heavenly Jerusalem. We know that the promise is a Davidic kingdom. But these men, they have not received it. Yet they walked in faith. Now, how do I know they walked in faith? How do I know they gave their life for faith? If you remember, God said something to Abraham in Genesis chapter 15. Let's quickly look at verse 13 and verse 14, because we must go to the very beginning. God said to Abraham, I said, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. Now, that is a prophecy. But remember, for this prophecy to come to pass, Abraham walked with faith. He left the land of Chaldeans and began to take the step of faith. He hasn't seen it. He doesn't know about it. But God told him, get up and go. As God is calling some of you, get up and go. But many of children of God in the Christian world today are like that man at the pool of Bethesda. We know that the angel of the Lord comes yearly to stir the pool. But now is his day. The Lord said, I know you can't walk, but do you want to be made whole? And the man began to give excuses. You know, I really want to be made whole, but you know, the bishop was holding me. You see, I really want to be made whole. You know, Dr. Mary, I don't know, she's just, do you want to be made whole? Now, Bishop asked today, does anybody want to be made whole? Now, this is not the time for us to remember the old things, for the former things are gone. Do you want to be made whole? Now, if you know you want to be made whole, you need to take a step. The step is the increase of your faith. If you were to be the life of Joseph, what would you have done? Joseph had a dream. He was told, you are going to be a leader. But you see, for you to be a leader, you must first be a sufferer. Because I read this in the book of Hebrews, where I came from. They were stoned, but they believed they had a good country, which they know that they belong. Joseph knew that God have raised me to be a deliverer. And all he needs to do is to overcome every obstacles. You wonder why the disciples asked Jesus, when Christ told them, if thy brother offend you 70 times, 70 times. He said what? Forgive. And they said, Lord, increase my faith. I said, if you are to be Joseph, what would you have done? Because Joseph was offended many times. Joseph was offended by his brethren. But Joseph knew that for me to get to the next level, I have to lift up my leg. You have 16 stairs to get to your destination. But you see, you have to lift up the legs. But many of us don't want to lift up our leg. We think when we remain in the same place that we continue to get the same result. But for you to get to that 16th floor, where lieth your blessings, for you to get to that 16th floor, where there is the progress of God, for you to get to that 16th floor, where there is healing for you, for you to get to that 16th floor, where there is power and anointing, you need to lift up those legs. I said you need to carry those legs up. And you take it one level, and after the next level. You take it from one level, after the next level. Somebody say next level. We said next level. Listen, the next level, according to the promises of God to Abraham, was that these children, they will go into captivity. And then from captivity, they will go to the next level. So in other words, the captivity is not to damn you, but it's a training process. And many of us don't want to go through that training process. Listen, is somebody disturbing you in your place of job? That is God taking you through your wilderness experience. You better go through it and be ready to take the next step. No, I don't think you got me. I am going back, taking the next level. I am going back, not being the same. That when you see me next time, you will know indeed I have taken evil more than 2 steps. That is what this meeting is all about. And that is what I have achieved. Hearing from Pastor Dale Cogrove. Think about it. God says, I will give you to inherit a possession that you never labored for. What more do I want from God? What more do we need from God? But other than to say, Lord, increase my faith. Increase my faith that I will be able to stand every wiles of the devil. Increase my faith that whatever comes my way, I should just rejoice and not sit down and boo-hoo. Because even if you boo-hoo from now to the kingdom come and you don't lift up those legs and move, nothing is going to happen. But I know one thing. Like my bishop said, I don't want to tell you what happened. My heart was somehow. And do you know, Bishop, on Friday night, the Lord visited, gave me thorough instructions. I woke up, I told my sisters that came with me. We all were shocked when Bishop got up. Every bit of everything spoken to me was what you stood here and began to say. Then I knew right there, God, you came. So for me to get to the next level, I must be like Joseph and turn to my brethren and say, you may mean it for evil, but God used it to take me to the next step. I must learn to release. I must learn to forgive. And I must be willing to let someone guide me. If I don't let someone guide me, then I will be heading to hell. Therefore, I am open and say, Bishop, guide me. It wasn't a mistake when you lay your hands on me. Whether you like it or not, you sure did. And that's more than 8 years ago. And ever since then, my life has never been the same.